And there even, yes, and of course there are ones that make tons of millions of dollars a year that may even be fake. There was one called Sylvia Brown. She was on Montel Williams' show all the time.
Oh, I forgot all about her.
Yeah, and I read her when I was like in my early teens, early 20s, late teens. And I remember reading her books and everything else. And she was fake as shit, okay? Because the woman, you have a reading with her, which costs about $1,000. And you have to wait like 6 months to a year. And when you do, the whole thing's like, oh, your grandma's dead and da-da-da-da. Grandma's not dead. She's still alive. Oh, the other one. They're both alive. You know what I mean? So, the woman's fake. And there's plenty of accounts that she was fake. And so my point is that people want to believe in something so badly. A lot of times they just latch on to anybody. But that doesn't mean that when you're reading tarot cards, you don't have to be psychic to read tarot cards. But I think you have to have some sort of energy connection. And I think when you do that, you're reading what you feel. So I do think you can get a tarot card reading. By the way, if you ever want a tarot card reading, I'm happy to do one for you for free. You don't have to pay for one. Not that I'm psychic, but I'll do one for free. But I think it's a true ability that people have. And I think that you just have to pick the people who really know what they're doing and if someone's charging you money for it, that's one thing, maybe $20, $10, whatever, or for free. But if someone's doing it, and they want $500 to remove a curse or some bullshit, run. So, some people will take advantage of you if you let them, because people are like that are vulnerable and they're trying to find answers. And so I do think that there is truth to the fact that, as I was saying earlier, energy can't be destroyed or whatever. So if that's the case, then that energy is still out there and you can connect to it if you're a medium. But there's mediums, there's clairvoyance, there's clairaudience, there's all kinds of people. There's empaths and the people who just feel emotions and stuff. So I think it just depends on what kind of person you are and you go to, as long as you go to the right person for the right thing. So don't go to a psychic or someone who says they're clairvoyant and can see the future if you want to connect with your dead loved one if they're not a medium. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think it's a real thing. I think it can be. I don't think it's always real. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. Because, especially when I watch Long Island Medium, you just see those, like you said, the people on that show get so invested. And then she goes on these live tours, and she does it to, complete strangers in the audience.
Yes.
I don't know.
At least that's what they want us to think.
Well, I've had a psychic I've talked to since I've had a psychic I've talked to. Her name's Carrie since I was 25, like 2000, and I talked to her about once every other year or so. And she's the real deal. I've talked to her all that time, and she lives in Sedona now. But she's an awesome real psychic. She doesn't charge an arm of like $100 for like an hour, and she's awesome and she's real and she's spot on. She the things she predicted about me and my husband and everything else before I met him. She said what he would look like is essentially generally, and she also said specifically when I would meet him. And she said it would be in October that year. And October came around, and finally I was like, that fucking bitch doesn't know what she's talking about. October 28th rolls around and I meet him, okay, that year. And so she did. And this was months ahead. And so there are people who really do know, are clairvoyant. And so...
Well, that type of thing I would be interested in going to.
You should, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as opposed to what? You mean like mediums or something, or what?
Yeah.
So you don't have anybody that's dead that you want to talk to if you could?
My grandmother.
So if you saw a medium that was real, you would want to talk to your grandmother?
I mean, I would, but I just want to make sure it's like, I don't want to be one of those people that be like, when they be like, oh, this is starting with the M, and I'm like, yeah. And,
but that's, yes, that bullshit, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. No, like, I need you to tell me, like, I need you to
That's exactly what I did with Carrie, and I've done every time since every reading I've had, and I don't tell her anything. The first time I talked to her, I was stoic because I knew about the fakes, and I was like, look, I'm not going to tell you anything. She's like, no, I don't want you telling me anything. I will tell you everything. Don't say anything until I'm done. I'll tell you my general impressions. And so she talks for like 30 minutes. Do you have any questions? And so she tells me what I need to know. I don't tell her, and that's how you know someone's real. So, and it's not like, so do you have is your mother alive? Is your, whatever. It's just like, your mother's this age. She looks like this. Her name is Linda. And she's, you know what I mean? She's very specific. So that's why
So is there like Yelp for psychics?
No, but there should be. That's a great idea.
Like Carfax, but like for psychics.
Well, you know what? Actually, there is kind of. There actually is kind of it's not a Yelp, but there is an association, and she's a member of this, that tests the abilities to see if you're really truly a psychic, and they do all this battery of tests on you. and you can either pass it or not. If you pass it, then you're considered a certified psychic or whatever, in whatever field you're in. So they do have that, but I don't know about the Yelp thing, but that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But no,
if anyone knows any in the Dallas area, I'd love to inquire.
Even if you don't believe in it, and even if it's not real, it's still fun to do and to get your cards read and to just find out what someone says about you, and you can laugh about it if you don't believe in it. But the thing is, I've had an issue with is marrying my understanding that there is some sort of energy left after we die with the fact that I don't necessarily believe that when we die there's anything there. So it's I'm kind of in a weird position about it. I mean, how do you guys, reconcile what you believe about psychics with whatever you believe religiously or whatever, spiritually?
Now, let my mom tell it. She'll tell you that every psychic, every tarot card
It's the
reader,
devil.
every horror film is the devil in physical form.
Yes.
And that's just how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I don't want to say I'm a spiritual person, and I'm a Christian person. But I'm spiritual in the way that I believe in other spiritual beings other than just the Christianity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but
Say that again. Say that again.
Say
that again. What you just said.
I believe almost in a way that, every culture has their own religion in the way that it is. I believe that there are many different ways to be spiritual.
Right.
And I don't believe that one religion is right or wrong.
You think there's many paths to God or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or to a higher being, whatever your higher being
or spiritual.
is.
Yes. Okay.
Right. So with all of that, and with the universe and the world and the galaxy, I definitely think there are spirits, like we said about the ghosts and spirits that are left behind. And
okay, that's cool. So you're fine with it because you don't seem to be that religious. You're more spiritual.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. What about you, Jason?
I just don't mix the two. I mean, I'm not one.
Whoa! What does that mean? So what the hell does that mean?
I mean, mix the two is in going to see a psychic or going to see a medium if I were to do that, and then try to make it be like, oh, it's about religion or that type of thing. Am I saying that right?
I don't have a clue what you're saying.
Okay, pretty much what I'm saying is because your question is, how do you differentiate the two, right?
Okay, how do you reconcile whatever your religious beliefs are with any belief in the occult or mysticism or whatever that is? Yeah.
Oh well.
Maybe you don't. I mean, what do you feel? What are your feelings about it?
I just don't.
So what is that? Okay, does that mean that you're religious? That means you're highly religious and you don't want to dabble in this other side.
I'm not religious. I'm more spiritual. I'm not religious. But
okay.
I mean, it's.
But I'm saying, so you're saying that the two don't one doesn't negate the other for you, or that it does?
It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's like this is on its side,
this is
on
over
one
here.
end, this is on the other end.
You don't equate the two. You don't think that spirituality that you have is equal with what you consider to be entertainment or whatever. You consider
right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. So you don't take it seriously. You take it more as an entertainment thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That's cool. That's what I wanted to know. I was just curious.
That's basically what he said earlier about believing ghosts.
Yeah. And that's cool. That's fine with me. I think that everybody's got different opinions about it, and I think nobody knows. No, but that's the thing. Nobody knows shit because we're all alive, and so we don't know what the fuck happens till we die. We just all have opinions about it, and that's the thing about religion.
I
It's
feel
just
like
opinions.
I just became like the Elizabeth Hasselbeck of because you guys are for it. I'm one that's like, oh, I like to do the two. I like one on the side.
That's okay. That's quite all
I
right.
became like the Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Don't ever talk that bad about yourself like that again. That's a horrible thing to say about yourself. Elizabeth Hasselbeck, the bitch. Anyway, speaking of that, do you think that the Halloween is an evil holiday or something, or do you think that's just a fun thing, or do you think it's? I mean, how do you reconcile that with your religious or spiritual beliefs, or do you have an issue with it?
I think that's a really good question. Back at home, a lot of churches, they host, instead of doing trick or treats, they do like it's called trunk or treat. So everybody brings their cars and they buy candy, of course, and then you go in the church parking lot and then you just go from like car to car.
Okay.
Which, when you say it out loud, that kind of sounds weird. But,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of people, do see it as just fun, and some families do try to keep it as that because they do feel it is like a dark holiday.
Mhm.
But Halloween is from the Day of the Dead, right?
Yes. Well,
That's kind of like
loosely based, but yes.
Loosely based.
Because Halloween actually, what happened is Halloween was actually based on All Hallows Eve, which was about what's it called? The lunar, not the lunar. What's it called? Fuck. I hate when I can think of a word. Solstice. The solstice. It has something to do with that's autumnal solstice or some shit. Anyway, and the moon and all the phases and all that crap. But that's what it's about. Anyway, go ahead. Hello.
Well, I don't think it's a dark-sided holiday. I mean,
Dark-sided. So do you think there is evil in the world? Actual evil? Or do you think that evil is as evil does?
Yes, there is actual evil. But yes, there are people that their God, we'll say this, their God is the devil or a devil-like being.
Uh-huh.
And they sacrifice people and animals and things to feed and appease their God, and their God is of evil things, that is of evil doing.
So the Mayans did that, and many other cultures did that. Did that make them evil? No.
But if their God is about doing something
well,
evil,
that's different, yes. But I'm saying the sacrificing, which I think is ridiculous, of course. I mean, I'm saying it doesn't make them necessarily evil in and of itself. I think it's
still do that shit though.
Oh, I know. It's horrible. As we've had like tons of people like Halloween time, cats and dogs go missing because these people sacrifice them. It's disgusting. It's horrible. Yeah, people do that. Satan worshipers and people like that. Yeah, it's horrible. So you think those people are truly evil, or are they just misguided and fucked up? I mean, there's a difference, I think, between pure evil and following the wrong.
I don't think. I mean, I think to each their own. Each person, you're either a good person, a morally right person, or you're malicious and evil and conniving and backstabbing.
But morality is subjective.
You don't have to be, but there are evil. I've met many evil Christians, so I don't think you have to be a devil worshiper
to be evil,
or a Wiccan, or atheist to be
evil.
Categorized in an evil thing. You know
but
what I mean?
Yeah, I do, and I agree with you completely. I was just playing devil's advocate. No, I think that I think that evil exists in people. People are evil or whatever. But I guess what I was trying to ask was more about evil as an entity, meaning like, do you believe there's a Satan? Do you believe there's hell and all that stuff, or do you believe that there's just humans who are evil?
Yes.
Or demons and that stuff.
There is a devil and he is alive. He has got a full-time job.
Okay. I don't believe in the devil. I'm sorry. I just don't. I think the devil is what is us, what we do with ourselves. I mean, it's in ourselves. The evil is in ourselves if we choose to be that way or whatever. I think the devil's just a made up thing, just like a lot of other things, I think. But anyway, I think that
even the devil wouldn't recognize you.
I love that song, by the way.
Where did that phrase "devil in a red dress" come from, or "devil in a blue dress"?
Devil in a blue dress, devil with a blue dress on.
Where did that phrase come from? I've never heard a song, but I mean,
I've never heard that, but I'm assuming it means like you're a pig in a wig, like you're like an evil person.
It's somebody all dressed up, like they're a good person, but they're really evil. What?
So I was like, Christian said he's never heard of it. Devil in a blue dress.
Well, have you heard that song, Christian? He's young. He probably hasn't heard it.
No, but I never heard the song, never heard the phrase.
It's a Rolling Stones song.
You never heard the phrase? Devil in a blue dress?
No, I've never heard the phrase.
We have to give him slack. He's young. He hasn't been around long enough to know these things. He is.
Between you guys and the people I work with, I'm like surrounded by like 30 and 40-year-olds, so I'm pretty much used to being the uterus like everywhere.
You're still in utero practically. Anyway.
Yeah, literally. Serious.
But I
I'm 22 for everyone inquiring.
No, I just want to know where that came from, though, because everybody referred to the devil in a blue dress. I just thought it always meant just the devil was a transvestite or something. But
No.